the organization with the external forces.
Forces.
Read it.
Yes, ma'am. Adaptation is the process of deliberate change in anticipation of or in reaction to external
Stimuli.
stimulus. Okay, and stress. The dominant research tradition and adaptation to environmental change primarily takes an actor-centered view, focusing on the agency of social actors to respond to specific environment. It's sorry, ma'am.
Stimuli.
Okay. And emphasizing the reduction of vulnerability, the resilience approach is system orientated, takes a more dynamic view, and sees
Adaptive. Adaptive. Hello. Hello, Yanchika. I can't hear.
hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you
Yes,
continue.
ma'am. Yes. Yes. Orientated takes a more dynamic view. I can see the screen, ma'am, now.
Hmm. Just
Ma'am,
one sec.
yes, ma'am. Yes.
Hmm.
So takes a more dynamic view and sees adaptive capacity as the core features of a resilient social ecology system. The two approaches coverage in identifying necessary component of adaptation. We argue that the resilience or the flexibility provide a useful framework to analyze adaptation processes to identify appropriate policy response. We distinguish between incremental,
Incremental. Incremental.
incremental adjustment and transformative actions and demonstrate that the source of resilience for taking adaptive actions are common across scales. These are the inherent system characteristics that observe perturbations without losing functions, network, and social capital that allow autonomous action and resources that promote institutional learning.
So every organization has to adapt itself to external forces. There are so many external forces that not are within our control. So we have to adapt to accordingly so that we can interact with them, and that is the most important part for any organization. Nobody is working in isolation. You are working within certain external environment. Like for example, like you want to say launch a new car, then you have to see whether the environment is ready for it or not. Do you have a market for that or not? You cannot force them to buy the car. You have to adapt yourself. What type of a car they want, what features they want, at what prices they want. So you have to change yourself to match the environment. So that is very important. Or for example, today we'll be talking about environment, environmental things. If you using technology that is adversely affecting the environment, then naturally you will have to change. Environment will not change. We have to change. For example, by cutting several trees, we are affecting the environment. So it is the duty of the organization to see whatever harm they have been doing to the environment, and they have to take certain corrective measures so that they overcome those harms. Maybe if you are cut to one tree, you should plant more than one trees, several trees. So those things which have been adversely affecting the environment will be taken care of. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now read this.
External environment of business. The external environment in business encompasses external factors and influence that impact business operation. It includes elements beyond a company's control, requiring effective response to ensure business continuity. This external force can influence internal process, objectives, and strategies. All businesses experience the effect of their external environment, necessitating and adaptations to external influence. Such impact, known as external factors, can vary widely and change unacceptably. The external environment significantly shape a business strategies, decisions, affecting competitiveness, budgeting, decision making, and marketing. Competition stands as a
Prominent.
prominent external factors determining the extent of rivalry among businesses in the market, while competition is the pivot influence. Other aspects also contribute, such as a governmental choice, competitor actions, and shifts in socio-economic condition.
Hmm.
Organization must grasp these external dimension as they interact with the dynamic range of the event and the decision beyond their control. Despite internal process management, various external element impact performance, profitability, and growth. External environment comprised of uncontrollable force is essential for businesses to navigate effectively for sustained success.
So there are so many external factors which affect. It might be market, it might be the government policies. We cannot, organization cannot change those policies. They have to comply with those policies. It is not that there are bodies which try to influence the government, but suppose there are certain policies which you are not very familiar with or not very comfortable with, but still you'll have to change and work according to those rules and regulations set by the government. Then the market is not under your control. It is an external factor. The organization has to see that it satisfies the market. It satisfies the needs and wants of the consumers. Accordingly, the external factors are the competition which are there in the market. That also you have to see how you can survive, how you can surpass your competitors. That is your objective. Actually, your objective is to optimize your profitability. For these number of external factors also influence. So you have to adapt accordingly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, then
Environmental issues in operation management. The management of the natural environment is becoming increasingly important within operation as customers, suppliers, and the public demand that manufacturers minimize any negative environmental effect of their products and operations. Managers play a critical role in determining environmental impact of manufacturing operations through choices of raw material used, energy consumed, pollutant emitted, and wastage generated. Over the past 3 decades, concurrent thinking on environmental issues have slowly expanded from a narrow focus on pollution control to include a large set of management decision programs and technologies. Pressure to apply the concept of sustainable development to manufacture underscore that need to think strategically about the environmental issues. In the context, sustainable development translates into the integration of environmental management into manufacturing design and technology decision.
now we are talking so much about green technology. Why? Because the older technology has been detrimentally in the environment. So we want to use materials, processes, so that the environment is least affected. It is not that it will not be affected, but we have to take certain measures also to rectify whatever harm has been done to the environment. And already lot of harm has been done, and we have seen recently in the pandemic, COVID pandemic, because of uh, utter exploitation of environment, this epidemic came. So now we are taking so many measures to overcome that.
Yes, ma'am. Recently, corporations have been confronted with a number of global environmental challenges such as a global warming, acid rain, depletions of natural resources, waste management, green consumption, and pollution prevention. There is a growth pressure deliver products and services which are environmental compatible. A number of corporations such as DuPont, 3M, AT&T, Xerox, and Procter and Gamble are therefore integrating various environmental policies and programs into their operations strategies and specific decisions concerning operations such as product design, planning, process, technology selections, and quality management. Introduce the concept of environmental management (EM) and urges that firms which do not recognize the implications of environmental program problems on the operation functions will not succeed in the competitive market.
Mm.
Various environmental management practices such as implementing aggressive pollution prevention programs, initiating environmental related to performance measure and developing green products and process technology provide opportunities to strengthen a firm's distinctive competence in terms of operations objectives such as highest quality, low cost, and best dependability and greatest flexibility. Thus, EM gives the competitive advantage and develops new links between operation strategy and the corporate strategy. Example, cost, leadership, and product differentiation.
So we have seen that now this more and more focus is being because we have been facing so many problems like global warming, acid
Yes.
rain, depletion of natural resources. Why this now alternative source of energy is being exploited? Why we are moving towards solar energy? Because the energy, the things which were giving the usual energy will be depleting. They are natural resources. Sun is the only thing which will always be there. So now we are focusing on solar energy. This way, it is comparatively less polluting and more sustainable. Because if we use all the resources now, what will be left for the next generation? This is not a one-time process. It has to be ongoing process. And for that, sustainability is very important. It is not only for the present generation you are working. You have to work or for all the generations will be coming. They'll be also requiring resources. We cannot finish off all the resources now. So that is why we are moving towards certain technologies which will help us in eliminating environmental pollution.
Yes, ma'am.
A sec- hmm.
During the 1950s and 1960s, the forces of science and technology have enabled the industrial world to reproduce a plethora of desirable products excessively, which in turn has resulted in mass consumption and indiscriminate disposal habit. If it has depleted the scarce natural resources, created excessive solid and hazardous waste, and polluted the earth.
Hmm.
Furthermore, a series of events in 1970s and 1980s, such as its incident at Bhopal in India, the Exxon Valdez oil spill, the discovery of Love Canal in upstate New York has, and the release of Sarah Till title Third, data. Okay, data has led to an explosion of environmental awareness among corporations as well as in consumer industrial and the end users all over the world.
So we have seen that in 50s and 60s, industrial revolution started. Naturally,
Yes.
now we have number of products, but if, for example, now you just take plastic, which is
Yes.
being used very commonly.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
now we are focusing to reduce that consumption. In fact, government uh, 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 has given so many instructions not to use plastics. In spite of that, we are using, and that is very detrimental to the environment. Because of plastic, so many natural resources are being depleted. So many animal life is being lost. They are being choked by those plastics. So as far as possible, people are being encouraged to carry bags, uh, jute bags, natural material bags, so that plastic use is being reduced to this minimum. If you go to certain states, for example, when I had gone to Uti
Yes, ma'am.
in Tamil Nadu, there plastic was absolutely banned and people followed it. Same thing was there in Shimla, but they used it. In spite of all those rules and regulations, people, even today at Varanasi where I'm living, you
Yes, ma'am.
even if you are carrying your own bag, they'll use plastics to give you the material you are buying, especially fruits and vegetables. And then you'll throw that plastic in the nala and dustbins, and they'll choke other animals. They'll come because plastics don't decay. It does not decay. It's not a natural material. Natural
Yes.
materials decay. You throw
Yes,
it in
ma'am.
the ground and it will decay after some time. So they are not a waste. They become a part of the environment. But
Yes.
we have produced such materials we don't decay and which will be hazardous not only to the human being but for other living organizations of the world. And after all, we need every organization because in this ecosystem, they are for each other. And we should not think that the man is the controlling. We are not. We have to be in sync with the total environment if we want a sustainable. So that is why even organizations today are focusing on that because now you have certain rules and regulations even in India where polluting industry are given certain guidelines. There is a ministry for anti-pollution and looks into that the organization is following those rules and regulations. Because of all this, like our rivers are being contaminated. For example, in Kanpur, which was known for leather industry, and the waste was being thrown in the Ganga, which has heavily contaminated the Ganges. So these are the things we are now looking. What happened in Bhopal in 1984? Because they had not followed these rules and regulations, so many people died. And even today, they are suffering from certain diseases. Then there was an oil spill in which so many animal life died and still suffering. For example, in your nuclear war, what happens? Not only people die, but even people who are not dead, they are suffering from certain diseases, which is a lifelong diseases. So these things are happening, has forced us to see, for example, because of certain gases, the ozone layer, which protects us from the harm solar energy was depleted. And that is why they were forced to see if these gases are not being used. So, so many incidents have happened. So now we are looking for technology and processes which will not uh, uh, be detrimental to the environment. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Role of operation manager. The operations manager should play a significant role in development as well as the implementation of environmental management system (EMS). The prime focus of an EMS is to prevent adverse environmental effect and improve environmental performance by installing various environmental programs and practices such as initiating environmental related performance measure and developing green technologies, process, and product. The specialization for an EMS suggests that the overall competitiveness of a company can be improved significantly if an EMS is fully integrated with all the functional area, primarily with the operation management.
So here we are focusing on operations management. So because after anything, it is either producing some product or it is giving some services. And to do that, the operation to produce that, whether it is product or service. So in that process, they should use technology and processes which is environmental friendly. And that is why EMS, what is environmental management system, should be applied over there. They are the primary ones. Everything else is related to that.
The okay.
According to British.
According to the British Standard Institution BSI specifications for environmental management system, and EMS should identify the assess the environmental effective arises from the organization existing or proposed activities, product or services. Identifying and assess the environmental effect arising the incident, accident, and potential emergency situation. Identify the relevant regularity requirement, enable priority to be identified and its pertinity environmental objective and targets to be set. Facilities planning and controlling, auditing and reviewing activities to ensure both the policies compiled with and that it remain relevant. Be capable of evaluation to suit changing circumstances.
So every organization, this is one standard, British Standard Institute, which has given so that every organization should specialize in environmental management system. And what should they do? They should identify and assess what adverse effect their product or services or the process by which they are being produced is having on the environmental, and so that they can use corrective actions. Some things are like you cannot eliminate papers, and for papers you need trees produced. So it is not that you will not, for furniture you need trees. So for so many things you need trees. It is not that you can eliminate that, cutting down the trees, but then replacing it is very important. What is happening today in Indian mountains? There's so many landslides, and that has been affecting the lives of several people. If we had followed stringent environmental rules and regulations right from the beginning, then these things would have been avoided. Today, what happened in the recent thing which happened in what Wayanad landslide, like, development is good, but not at the expense of lives of so many people. What will happen to if things collapse? Whatever you were enjoying will be gone. So more and more emphasis, it is the duty of the organization to see that they follow all the rules and regulations which will be affecting negatively the environment, to make it positive, make it sustainable. Yes.
A growing number of corporations such as DuPont, 3M, AT&T, Ross and Percott, and Gamble have successfully integrated feature of an EMS with their decision concerning operation and thereby realized a number of strategic benefits. The table in next slide lists example of beneficial operation decision made by a number of whom which have uniquely enhanced their competitiveness in a number of ways. The world-class companies are continuously improving their operations in order to move beyond complaints and stay ahead of their industry as well as many of their consumers.
So we have seen number of these DuPont, 3M, AT&T. These are world-class companies. So they are using environmental management system in their decision making, in their concern, in their operations, and that have really benefited them. This is the list. I'm just showing it in a. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am. 3M pharmaceutical plant in CA developed a water-based medicine tablet replacing a solvent base. Benefits is changing cost US dollar 60K, but eliminate he needs or USA dollar 180K in a pollution control equipment.
Hmm.
PNGS Germany unit introduced Lenor concentrate fabric softener in small and flexible pouch, reduced packaging waste by up to 85%. Reynolds metal replacing solvent based ink with water in packaging plants, cut emission 65% and saved US dollar 30M in production equipment. AT&T redesigned board process, reduced cost by US dollar 3M annually, eliminated use to chemicals. Xerox institute reuse of packaging and pallets based on standardized design, reduced 10K tons of waste and saved up to US dollar 15M annually.
These are certain examples. This is not all. There are a number of examples. I have just taken a few. How? By taking this environmental management system in their decision making, they have not only helped in reducing the environmental pollution, but also in reducing cost, because lot of waste is being generated. Like for see, in the natural environment, it moves in a cyclic manner. Waste of one system is becomes the input of another system. Like for example, even a excreta is eaten by certain animals. So there's no pollution. It is taken care of. But what we have been doing in the industrial revolution, producing waste, there are so many places all over the world which have piles of waste. And now they are thinking of how to dispose of, how to reutilize it. Now more and more focus is being used on using cyclic method, even for plastic. Certain amoeba are being developed, so they'll eat up that plastic, and we can reduce that waste.
Yes, ma'am.
So in both in science and technology, it is being developed. Lot of research is being done that we don't produce so much waste which is undisposable. Produce waste which can be disposed of, which can be used somewhere else, or it can be regenerated, or it can be becomes one with the universe.
Ethically issues in operations management. Examples of ethical consideration in operation management decisions include customer safety, employee safety, material recyclability, waste disposal, pollution, repetitive tasks, stress in workplace, restrictive company cultures, employment policies, fluctuations in working hour, consumptions of energy, energy efficiency, implications of plant location, closures and vertical integration and on employment's impact of process location on environment and explorations of resources.
Mm.
Ethic in operation management is truly significant, especially in work class operation. It should be considered in line with cooperative responsibility. Another reason for importance of ethics in the ethical consequences that arises from the business or operation strategy of some companies to obtain cost advantage by outsourcing. Ethics in operation management is concerned on the way how profit is obtained rather than on the quantity of profit which is considered enough. The drift between profit and the responsibilities of the company are to be blamed for the rises of ethical issues.
Like ethic, what does it mean? Doing the right thing. It should not affect adversely the customer satisfaction. Suppose you are selling some equipment which is quite silly, cheap comparatively, but it is not very safe to use it. For example, take pressure cooker. We are using it every day. It has to be manufactured in such a way that it is not hazardous to the person who is using it. Then naturally our lives, because it is something which is daily used in every household. And if they are not manufactured properly, so ethical issues should be taken care of. When you are operating something and producing something, like customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, safety, customer safety, employee safety. Suppose you were using some electrical gadget which has not been designed so that it will be safe to use it. So we have to see to it. Then the materials, as far as possible, waste should not be created. If it is recycled, we can use it on, and waste will be piled up. How to dispose the waste so that it is not adversely affecting the environment. Pollution, how not to create pollution. Like we have noise pollution. For example, uh, uh, during marriage season in India, there's so much of noise pollution. Now government has set a rule that after 10 o'clock, you should not use all these DJs and things like that and disturbing the whole population. So this is what noise pollution. So things
Yes,
should
yes.
be considered so that all everybody's interest is taken into consideration. Some trade-off has to be there. Fluctuations in working hours. That is why today we have flexible working hours, consumption of energy, energy efficiency. The same thing, you can produce more with less energy. That means you are using energy efficiently. How to efficiently locate your plant. When you are closing it, you have to see that you're as far as possible, least people are being affected by it. Closer. Then the vertical integration. Like for example, in your supply chain, there are certain, for example, if you take Fiat, they were the first one to go for vertical integration. They were integrated with their suppliers so that they don't have any problem in getting the raw material. And then naturally, if you get the raw material in time, then only you will be able to produce. And then not only in time, but the right price, the right quantity, the right quality. All these are important. So
Yes,
vertical integration helps you a lot in obtaining your objective. impact of process location, environment, and exploitation of resources. Res- Resources are limited, so we should be able to replace it. So now we are not concerned only with one country. Now we are thinking of global. So we should see if my operation does not affect the other adversely. For example, sometimes what happens if you want to outsource this, but the material is not. If you're buying it from outside, it will be easily available at a lower cost, but then it will be adversely affecting the local producers. So we have to see that even sometimes the government places rules so that you cannot buy the raw material from outside your country. Why? To uh, protect the local producers. So ethics in operations is very important, because it is not that all the time you can satisfy everyone, but as far as possible, you should see that interest of everyone is taken into consideration before making any policy or any decision. Yes, continue.
Yes, ma'am. Reasons for unethically practices. Ethical issues arise usually out of ethical dilemmas where a decision needs to be taken from two or more equally urgent yet incompatible alternatives. This could give a rise to ethical issues to opportunism. This is considered as an unethically behavior as it refers to the abuse of opportunity. In operation management, managers or leaders might get involved and become vulnerable to unethical choices due to the number of opportunities that may be abused. It could be either due to the pressure for cost reduction or impractical strategic objectives, such as an area vulnerable to opportunism is procurement, where the workers assigned in the job roles handle a significant amount of company resources. The exposure of procurement management to external environment out of the business entity that makes him easily prone to the conduct of unethical act.
For example, like today at Varanasi, generally for roaming in the Ganges, it was the local boatmen who used to take them. Now today what has happened, number of people from outside Varanasi have come and are using mechanized boats. Naturally, the consumer, because they feel very elated, but it is affecting the lives of the local boatmen. Plus, it is also adversely affecting the environment. So here, these businessmen who are operating are using unethical ways of making profit. They are making profit at the price of the local boatmen. But sometimes it is very hard to take the right decision, because, for example, if you are making, say, cigarettes, which is, which is harm, it harms a person's health, but still to make profit, there's so many examples where we make unethical due to some reason or the other.
Procurement managers might face the situation where many suppliers compete and offer different favors and gifts just to create a business deal. And abuse of this opportunity creates several ethical issues as it directly tarnish business reputation dealing with third parties.
See what happens. For example, you take these um, medical representatives. They give so many gifts to the doctors. And they are forced sometimes to prescribe certain medicines which not be very good.
Yes, ma'am.
So they are being forced, lured. Even in a school, you can see the parents. Some parents, they butter uh, affect the decision of the teachers. They give gifts to the teachers. They give certain favors to the teachers. So the teachers take take care of the child more than the another person who might be bright, but from a poor family, or the parents are busy somewhere, or are not very aware, so they don't have that time to come and meet the teacher quite often. And that time, what happens? The teacher is taking an unethical approach, because for the teacher, every child should get the same attention, whether he or she is coming from a good family or a poor family, or whether the parents are coming and meeting them quite often or not. It is the duty of the teacher. Similarly, a procurement manager is a teacher. He is procuring material for for the organizations. If he is lured by the gifts given by different suppliers, his decision might turn out to be unethical. Ethical. Then favoritism.
Yes, ma'am. Ethical challenges, favoritism. Favoritism.
Favoritism.
Yes, ma'am. Favoritism. Favoritism is an ethical challenge where the employee act as intermediaries who tends to exaggerate the problem of others, the buyer of or the supplier, in order to obtain the business deal. If giving professional, it's prefer
Preferential treatment.
treatment to certain parties, allowing certain personalities to interface with business deals, engaging in appropriately and seeking and providing information of different business codes from different competitors, either in a fair or a unfair manners. These deeds might be carried out for the material or personal gain that result in unethical code of operation management.
For example, there might be more than one supplier, but somebody is your favorite. Maybe that person has given you certain gifts, or you have certain interest in that person. So these will lead to what? Unethical decision making. It should be objective, not
Yes.
based on certain criteria which is unethical. So everywhere you have to see the objectivity in your decision is maintained. Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Bribery. Yet
bribery.
bribery. Okay. What is bribery, ma'am?
Bribery, घूस देना.
Okay. Yet another ethical issues that arise in operations in bribery. It is the act of offering payments, services, product, or opportunities in exchange of getting things in favor. It cannot be treated under the its pursuits of gifting. Accepting gifts from people who have direct influence on the operations and functions may be considered as unethical. This is seen as an ethical issues as the person being gifted and have an ability to satisfy the interest of person offering the gift. Other ethical issues to consider in operations are the breaches of confidence, negligence, and the fraud.
So bribery is one issue. Like somebody is offering you some money to do certain job. So even
Yes.
if you don't satisfy the quality level or the processing level, your whatever you are producing will be passed. So these things should be avoided. Even to some extent, these gifts Sometimes it is used as bribery. Sometimes it may be just a gift. But your decision should not depend upon the gift. It should depend upon the quality, the costs, and things like that. The features which are really required. The decision should be ethical. You should not, if you somebody has placed certain confidence on you and you tell that thing secret to someone else, that is about breach of confidence, which is unethical. You neglect someone. Someone has the capability, but he is always looked down or neglected. So after sometimes what happens? Like I have seen in my life, some people like uh, even if they are not very good, they are praised so many times that they are considered great. And some people who are actually good are discouraged so often that they become depressed. Or any type of fraud should not be taken while making any decision, especially when you are in the operations department.
Corporate responsibility. One of the latest and emerging view on business ethics link corporate responsibility and ethics. The green movement in a business is an example of ethical consideration. According to the movement, companies are seen responsible for the environment as part of their ethics. For example, a business that is not proper making could take us planting a tree per number of batches of paper produced. This also help in sustainability of the environment instead of causing harm to it.
So corporate is also a citizen of the country or the place where it is operating. It also has certain responsibility towards the environment and the place where it is working. Now the green movement has given rise to this thinking. Company is responsible to whatever wrong they have done to the environment. They should take certain steps to rectify it. The corporate responsibility is very important. Today we talk a lot about corporate social responsibility. What is its responsibility to the society where it is working? Here again, I have given the example of paper industry. If trees are being cut, trees also should be planted.
Overcoming ethical issues. The best and the practical way to help operation managers to control ethical issues is to be establishing a code of conduct within the organization. This helps to create a sense of awareness and discipline among the employee and the consequences of not abiding it. Every business is left with the liability to service the public in an ethical manner. Hence, they need to maintain public trust and reputation of services in the market. Developing and adhering strictly to the ethical code of conduct will help to overcome the ethical issues posed by them. Leadership too has to role to play when it comes to wiping all of ethical issues. Ethical leadership could be viewed as a vital factor to promote ethics in organization. As many incidents involve that act of few employees in such an ethical incident, ethical leadership will helps tackling this. Ethical leaders can chalk out practical ways of instilling a sense of trust and integrating among employees and formulating ethical strategies to drive operations of a business. The increasing number of companies being involved in ethical controversies that have brought the business down have made it impossible for the others to understand the significance of integrating ethics in operation management to ensure markets its subsistence and the profitability.
So the best way to and the practical, like the operation, the ethical issues, you have a set a code of conduct. You have to do this and you don't have to do this. If this is recognized and adhere to it, the leaders see to it that the people follow it. Rules should be there. Only those rules should be there which have to be followed. अब ये नहीं कि rule तो बना दिए हैं, but nobody is following it. So what is the point of having that rule? If you have ethical issues and and certain rules and regulations are set up and you follow that and you avoid those unethical issues, naturally you at the long run you'll be making a very good impression about the organization to the audience. For example, some of the world class companies, especially consumer goods, if you buy some product from Nestle and turns out to be bad, you can really return it. No issue about it. But so many other organizations, and if you are going to return it, they make so many issues and fuss. So that is not should not be there. If the consumer had certain grievances, it has to be taken care of. And see what is the genuinity of the cause. I don't say every time the consumer is right, but there should be a body which should look into it and see whether the cause is genuine or not. So ethical issue is very important for being a good image of the organization. Over the long run, ethical issues please play a very vital role in improving your image, your profitability, and your sustainability.
Technological issues in operation management. There are basically two types of technology used in operation management: hard equipment tests and devices that perform a variety of tasks in the creation and delivery of goods and services. Example: computer, robots, barcode scanner, RFID tags, etc. Soft application of internet computer software and information system to provide data, information and analysis, and to the facilities that creations and delivery of goods and services. For examples: database, AI, voice recognition software, and etc.
So technology is playing a lot of role in improving the operation. And for this, you have both the hard and the soft technology. Hard is the equipment and devices, and soft is the application.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Common manufacturing technology issues. First, selection of right technology. Second, appropriate setup and configuration of process resources. Third, properly trained labor equipment. Fourth, continuous improvement of process performance. Fifth, effective scheduling to meet shipping and due dates. Sixth, ensuring quality.
So these are the 6 things which you have to look into. Right technology. Every technology will not suit everyone. You have to see what type of what technology suits you, so that you can improve the life of the workers, satisfy the consumers, and meet the objectives of the organization. Then a property setup of the and configuration of process resources. For example, you have bought a very latest technology, but you have not set up properly. So people are not gaining from it. Environment is not gaining from it. You have to see appropriate setup of the process is there. Then properly trained labor. People should be trained. Just by giving someone a computer, he or she will not be doing things properly. He or she should also be trained into it. Then continuous involvement, which is also known as Kanban, which is very uh, positive contribution of Japanese. They had improved. introduced this concept of Kanban, that continuous improvement. What you are doing today, tomorrow you will do a better job. This approach will always lead to the best product or best services. Then whatever you are doing, like we studied in what CPM, how you schedule it so that you meet the desired due dates. Then the quality of the product or service should also be maintained. So that whatever the consumer wants at whatever the price they want, it should be delivered to them. Yes.
Computer Integrated Manufacturing System, CIMS. Computer Integrated Manufacturing System, union of hardware, software, database management, and communication to automate and control production activities, ROM planning and design to manufacturing on distribution. Computer Numerical Control, CNC, machine whose operations are driven by a computer. Robots, programmable machines designed to handle materials or tool in the performance of a variety of tasks.
And this is quite clear.
Yes, ma'am. Computer aid design, computer aid engineers. CAD and CAE enables engineers to design, analyze, test, estimate, and manufacturing product before the physically test. Computer aid manufacturing scam, computer control of the manufacturing process, such as determining tools, movement, and cutting speeds. Flexible manufacturing system, FMS, two or more computer controlled machines or robot linked by automated handling device such as the transfer machine, conveyors, and transport systems. Computer direct the overall sequence of operation and route the work to the appropriate machine, select and load the proper tools, and control the operation performed by the machine.
Perform that it should be performed.
Yes, ma'am. Operation performed by the machines. Performed.
We can, this is also quite clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
3D printing. 3D printing or additive manufacturing is the process of making the dimensional solid objects from a digital file. The creation of 3D printed object is achieved using additive process. It in the additive process, an object is created by laying down successive layer of material until the object is created. Each of these layer can be seen as a thinly sliced cross section of the object. 3D printing is the opposite of subtractive manufacturing, which is cutting out, hollowing out, or a pieces of the metal or a plastic with, for instance, of a milling machine. 3D printing enables you to produce complex shapes using less material than traditional manufacturing method. Industrial robots, these are the substitutes for human manipulations and other highly repetitive functions. Nanotechnology is the use of matter on atomic, molecular, and supramolecular scales for the industrial purpose. Uh, Nanotechnology is the manipulation of matter with at least one dimension size from 1 to 100 nanometer nm. Nanotechnology are the study and the applications of extremely small things that can be used across all the other science fields such as the chemistry, biology, physics, material science, and the engineering.
So these three technology, the 3D printing, industrial robo, and nanotechnology, it is helping manufacturing in units and other places to improve the environmental effect of adverse environmental effect of technology.
Advance in manufacturing technology, 3D printing, industrial robot, and nanotechnology.
Hmm. Here I've given the summary of these. This is the big in detail.
Okay, ma'am. Should I read, ma'am?
Yes.
3D printing, additive manufacturing, AM, also known as the 3D printing, is the process used to fabricate a physical object from a three-dimensional 3D digital model, typically by laying down and bonding a large number of successive thin layer of materials. It has generated attention for its potential environmental impact. Let's explore this topic. Environmental implication. Material footprint. While 3D printing allows local production and is often considered zero waste, its environmental performance depends on usage pattern and machinery configuration. Research shows that we need a deeper understanding of a material footprint and energy consumption during production. Energy consumption. Certain aspects of 3D printing consume significant energy, impacting its overall environmental footprint. However, studies have also found a 70% reduction in impact to traditional process. Emission. AM process emit fewer greenhouse gases due to the localized production, but emissions still exist. Understanding this emission is crucial for sustainable manufacturing. In summary, while 3D printing after offering environmental benefits, it's essential to consider its complexities and optimize its use for sustainability.
So these are now 3D printing is also in initial stage. It has lot of uh, pros, but there are certain cons also. To get the maximum benefit, we have to consider both. What are the pros and what are the cons? It says it is zero waste. It does have that much impact, detrimental impact on the environment. It less consume less energy. Naturally, less emission is given, and but still there are emissions. So up to 70% we are saying. So we have to lower that also. So in summary, we can say while 3D or printing offers environmental benefit, it is essential to consider its complexity and optimize its use for sustainability. Because these two things, sustainability and least detrimental effect on the environment, these two things have to be considered. Industry.
Industrial robots. An industrial robot is a robot system used for manufacturing. Industrial robots are automated, programmable, and capable of movement on three or more axes. Typical applications of robot include welding, painting, assembly, disassembly, pick and place for a printed circuit boards, packaging and labeling, palletizing, product inspection and testing. All they accomplished with high endurance, speed, and precision. This can assist in a material handling. The environmental impact of industrial robot, reducing pollution. The industrial robot playing a significant role in reducing environmental pollution. Studies have shown that they can lower pollution levels by improving green technology, innovation, and optimizing employmental skills. By automating automatic tasks, robots reduce the need for manual labor, which in turn minimize raw material usage and lower emissions during production. They also enhance clean technology and energy efficiency, leading to reduced pollutant emission.
So you can see that how it has affected the environment. It has reduced the pollution because they are doing the more efficiently the repetitive task, and it is less hazardous to the human being. All those tasks which were harmful for the humans are now being used, are being done by robots. Yes, continue.
Non-linear relationship. Research across 74 countries and regions from 1997 to 2020 reveals an interesting pattern. Initially, as the number of industrial robots increase, environmental performance improves. However, beyond a certain point, this relationship becomes inverted and inverted U shape. This suggests that while adopting industrial robot initially benefits the environmental three, there should threshold beyond which further robotization may have diminishing returns,
Uh,
influencing
but
mechanism.
it is not always improving. After certain stage, you have to stop and see that the robots are not using more and more. Yes, continue.
Influencing mechanism. The impact of industrial robot on environmental performance involves several factors. Energy saving effects. Robot can reduce energy consumption through efficient process. A rebound effect. As more robots are deployed, overall production may increase, potentially offsetting some environmental gain.
Hmm.
Scale effect. The overall scale of robot use matters, affecting that net impact on the environments.
Hmm. Because they can work on a larger scale, and that will help the organization.
Next.
Yes.
Government and industry action. To maximize the positive impact of industrial robot, government should encourage investment in the robot industry, driving innovations in green technology. Enterprise should optimize employment skill structures and responsibly deploy robotic automation. In summary, industrial robots offer both environmental benefits and challenges. Balancing their use with environmental protection is crucial for sustainable development.
Especially it depends upon the population. Like for in India, there's there are huge population who is unemployed, and we start using more and more robots, so they will again will not get employment. So maybe in India they are not that beneficial as in other countries. So it depends on your social status, the social pattern of your country, how much robots you'll be using, what type of work they'll be doing. But there are so many jobs which is very harmful to the human body or the human life. So over there we can use robots and make the life of a human much easier and much more enjoyable. Then we move to the third thing, nanotechnology.
Nanotechnology. Nanotechnology has emerged as a powerful tool in addressing global challenges and advancing sustainable development by manipulating materials at the nano scales. Researchers have unlocked new possibilities in various fields, including energy, healthcare, agriculture, construction, transportation, and environmental conservation. Nanotechnology is a broad term for science and technology inventions that operate on the nano scale, 1 billion times smaller than a meter. 1 nanometer is about 3 atoms long. The laws of physics operate differently at the nanoscale, causing familiar materials to behave in an unaccepted way. The world is facing significant environmental challenges like improving the standard of air, soil, and water. Currently, industry is that specialized in detecting pollutants from chemical spills, fertilizer, and pesticides runoff, improving industrial and mining sites, treating contaminants, and stopping further pollution. A potential solution to this problem is to use nanomaterial. Nanomaterial are often worn to assist with cleaning the environment and even provide material helps to enhance the standard and the performance of many consumer product. As result of this exposures to main nanomaterials is increasing day by day. However, they are both positive and negative impact on the environment thanks to the nanotechnology. Recent advance in nanotechnology have shown numerous societal benefits through the event of improvement of smart material. Several engineered non-material ENMS are produced during the last year, which will be found in related sectors like health, food, home, automotive, electronics, and computers.
So it has been seen the same thing, the way it was reacting now at a lower level, nano level, they react differently. And that has shown to be very good for the environment. So now more and more emphasis is being placed on nanotechnology.
Soft technology, operations management software, OMS, helps plans, monitor, and coordinate production or services operation, digitalize daily workflows of involved employees, example, operation manager, planner, supervisor, project manager, identify and maintain operational process
Yeah.
bottleneck.
So wherever
Feature.
there is a bottleneck, this software helps you to overcome, plan your whatever work you are doing, supervise whatever work you are doing. It helps project management in scheduling and controlling the project. So these are the software which are helping you in gaining your objective features.
Features software for service operation for service and project centric companies that needed to optimize services related activities and improve management of human resources projects and service request supply chain T&E service related documents.
So this helping you in whatever service or product in the most optimum way. We have seen now because of this software technology, we can track our product, we can make online payments. So many things have become, because of this, e-business has become so easy. Like there are three dimensions. One is your ordering, then you are processing that order, and third is your delivery. Delivery can be both digital and non-digital. Like suppose you have ordered a ticket, you will get it digitally. But suppose you have ordered a pizza, it will not be digitized and sent to you. But the first two, ordering and processing, now has become digital. So this has become so easy to approach your supplier or to approach your operator and get whatever you are looking for. Making payment has become so much easier. Uh, uh, Now we are talking about global village, not only locally, but globally also you can order so many things. The processing can be done. Only the delivery phase, if it is digital, it will be fast. If it is not digital, then naturally it will be slower.
Software for production operations for manufacturing centric enterprises that need to optimize production activities and improve management of inventory, warehouse, workforce, machinery and equipment maintenance, purchase, and sales order.
Mm.
End to end workflow automation to improve the productivity of the employee involved in business operations, speed up operation process, reduce labor cost, and eliminate human errors.
Mm.
Comprehensive data analytics to ensure accurate data driven operations planning and getting intelligent recommendation on the optimal resources utilization and operational risk prevention.
So these are the several ways the software is helping the organization in their operation.
Focus on security to protect the OMS and sensitive data it stores by employing multi-factor
Authentication.
authentication, role-based access control, data encryption, AI-powered fraud detection, and other advanced cybersecurity tools.
For example, you take a bank. The data is being a people all the level, but the data is not accessible to it. There is multi-factor authentication. Who can use it? Who cannot use it? At to what level one can use it, and things like that. So a lot of work is being done on cyber security, because now things are moving on the internet. If it can hack easily, what is the security? You're sending money, you're sending so many information. So everything is encrypted so that whatever you are sending is secure and it reaches the right person at the right time. Mobile access.
Mobile access to enable the operations team to control the status of production service of operation on the go, streamline reporting on operation progress and escalation of operational process issues.
So now what has happened? Like initially, first generation computers were you used. It was huge. Like a big building was big. Gradually it reduces to laptop, top. Now even a mobile, you can do all the access all type of data or type of manipulation, everything. You can run your business on the go. You don't have to sit down at one place and do whatever you want to do. Now everything is on the go, mobile.
Yes, ma'am.
The last conclusion.
Conclusion. It can be concluded that the implementation of technology is certainly an inevitable transformation process of most organizations. The benefit of technology can be seen directly associated with facilitating the processes and the resources which operation management is directly handling. Nevertheless, technology is not a
Panacea.
panacea, and it cannot be a separate solution to all the problems in the company, as well as it cannot be guaranteed method of improving productivity. Technology will work only when all the processes are optimized within the company and combined with skilled operation management. It will be delivered to its full potential.
So we can see technology helps you a lot, both the hard and the soft technology. You need the hardware, you need the software. Things are being streamlined, and now it has the whole process has become much easier and much more comfortable to hold. But still, it will not solve all your problem. It is not the panacea, not the ultimate. It is the way you are handling it. It is the human being who is handling the how they are using the hardware, how they are using the software. So we have to see that the way it is being used, that is much more important than what you are using. Okay, that is all in today's lecture. You have any question, you can ask me.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, please share the last class PPT.
Acha, okay. I'll share both. Today
Yes,
only
ma'am.
I'll send both the PPTs.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Good night, ma'am.
Good night.